In last week's video, we strung together features new and old to create Berm Peak's most exhilarating line. And you had best believe it packed some serious fun. But in light of recent events, we decided to tone down the risk factor and focus on something a little different. Today, we're going to build some alternate lines, so riders with different risk tolerances can enjoy these trails together. Let's have a look at what I mean by that. When you drop in off the flight deck down Woodpecker, it's a pretty unassuming trail until you get to the Mainframe. Despite how it looks, the Mainframe has a 75% failure rate, in that 3/4 of my friends have crashed on it at some point. But more treachery lies further down the trail. After the Mainframe is Snakepit, which is a skinny bridge that leads directly into a gap jump, to a narrow landing with a tree in the middle. Pretty much everybody who has ridden this has either slipped off the skinny or crashed on the tree jump. But after the skinny tree jump, it's all pretty straightforward. We haven't had anyone back out or crash on the squatch jump, and the driveway gap has a good track record as well. Except for our early attempts to actually clear the whole thing. That aside, I think we have some great opportunities here. For starters, we'll create a bypass for the Mainframe by making a left turn before it, and crossing back over Woodpecker towards Snakepit. That would make our map look like this. This is, of course, easier, but it can still be fun if we do some planning. We'll do a little pruning around the first turn, then clear out the brush from the trail. Then we'll just add a little pinch of spice. So we'll sink this one into the ground, we'll get this one up to it, just a slight kick to it, and this will launch us over the whole thing. By sinking a couple of stones into the right side of the trail, we can have a small, low-consequence jump. With this in place, it should be possible to gap the 3 feet or so over Woodpecker, or just bunny hop this 2-inch log. Bypassing the tree jump on Snakepit won't be so straightforward. Here's where Snakepit kind of gets hairy, right? You make this turn, which is where everybody gets messed up, then it's full commit over the jump. So we can have a line that comes through here. So it's still part of the Snakepit, right? But it's not treacherous, there's not a gap. The point of commitment on Snakepit is a left turn. That's where you need the speed to clear the gap, but won't have time to stop in an emergency. We want to make a sort of snake tongue that splits off into a no-jump skinny line. It'll still be technically difficult, but with a far lower risk factor. Just because it's safe doesn't mean it can't be fun. We can make it spicy. We're gonna need a 24-foot, and then I would say we need about a 10 or 12-foot off of that. Brian and I measured the area we would need to span, and found a dead oak really close to the trail that met our dimensions. To use the timber, we need to delimb the tree, cut off the rotten parts, and then winch it into position. This is literally an inch-by-inch process. To get the tree over the existing skinny, we needed to take some things apart and come to terms with the inevitable damage that might occur. We removed some planks to minimize the damage and then took it slow. Eventually, our patience and hard work paid off. We got that 25-foot tree to the other side of Snakepit, but it still wasn't exactly where we wanted it to be. I think this is it. So we gotta mill this kind of flat and then pull it up to here, and then I think we're good. We needed to inch things into position and then come up with a way to join this tree to the existing line. To create a tight fit between the new and old trees, we removed some planks and mitered the end of the new tree to sit flat against the old one. Then we used the electric chainsaw to trim everything down and make it sit flush. For most tasks, this battery-powered saw has been punching well above its weight, but for certain things, it just doesn't cut it. You guys win. I got a quote, real chainsaw. For months, I've been avoiding the noise, the gasoline, the smoke, the constant messing around with spark plugs, and the I told you so's from millions of viewers. But I've gotten past all that, and this thing is friggin' awesome. It rips through hardwood effortlessly, and I've got a mill attachment and ripping chain on the way. To make our own dimensional lumber while on lockdown, this thing is going to be essential. But for crosscuts and precision work, the electric saw is still a lot more maneuverable. So let's just say they make a great team. To make the line end where we wanted, we needed to delicately ease one more log into position.
You guys want me to throw the camera on a tripod and come over there?
No. Do you think we can get it up? 2, 3.
It's gonna get even heavier.
I discovered this clip while editing and can't remember why we didn't just use the winch or tow it with the gator. But we probably had a good reason.
Timber! Push it this way. Here we go.
Through other such feats of careful planning and ingenuity, we eventually did get the log in place. But it was on a slant and needed a little something extra to stay put. So to keep things located, we used some rebar like on the whale tail landing. With everything pretty much in place, all we needed to do is attach planks. Some of you have asked why we use planks at all when the tree itself has a pretty good surface. And it's true that the planks are kind of a luxury, but they do make the width of the skinny more consistent, provide a lot more traction, and look cool enough to justify the extra work. These cedar planks were left over from the materials Backyard Seth brought for the original Snakepit build. So this project was a great opportunity to make use of scrap wood. The scraps of the scraps won't go to waste either. Feast your eyes on the new and improved Snakepit Trail. Let's not forget, we also have a new Mainframe bypass, so Brian and I can now ride this trail together. The Mainframe bypass worked out just like we had hoped, and as long as riders start out in reasonably close proximity, there's really no chance of a collision where the trails cross. As for Snakepit's alternate line, it's actually more technically challenging than the original tree jump, but we're giving it a blue rating since it carries less risk. So if you're not into jumping or just want a technical challenge, it's yet another really fun option. Furthermore, it can be climbed in the other direction, which I think is one of our most challenging features yet. So by creating safer options, we haven't taken anything away from what's already here. I really hope you enjoyed this video because we plan on doing a little more of this in the coming weeks. So throw your ideas in the comments and let me know what you'd like to see. Thanks for riding with me today, and I'll see you next time.